another eternity. We took everything we came for, and we left behind a fucking catastrophe. Who would have known it would end up this way? Just let know it could be the deal.
Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code A. I am Tasteless, and with me is Kelly. Kelly, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good?
Very good.
I'm so good. We got Huck today, of course, one of our non-Korean players here in the GSL, here in Code A. He already won his first game, which I was very fortunate enough to cast. And we're going to see if he's going to go a little bit further in the tournament. But before I say anything else, thank you to Intel and G-Skill for making this event possible. Without sponsors like them supporting esports and without viewers like you at home tuning in, this stuff wouldn't be possible. So thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for helping out.
Look at this beefy new booth.
I know.
Looks so good.
That is thanks to G-Skill's sponsor of the production part of our show. So, Kelly, do you think Huck's going to move on?
Yes.
You think he can do it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he can too,
Of course
actually.
he can.
He's pretty good. I think he's over 4,000 points in Masters on the ladder.
Yeah. I mean, he got 4,000 points. He's the first person to reach 4,000 points on Europe server.
Yeah.
But he spent only 4 days playing it.
I know. So sick.
So sick.
So sick. Well, it's actually because partially because the European server and the U.S. server are not as good as the Korean server. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's actually true. I've played on both, and sometimes when I'm on the U.S. server, I see a strategy, and my face just starts to melt. I'm like, oh, it's so bad. All right, but before I randomly talk about anything else, let's pull up the match results up on our screen now. So for GSL Code A round of 32, day 4, the match results were
MVP Nobles 2-0 Marker Prime Wii. TSL Alive 2-0 OGS Suzanne. Slayer SM. Slayer's M 2-0 Liquid Rat. And TSL Killer 2-1 OGS Juk 2.
Yeah, Killer, also known as Songho. Now on to the results for Kodas. As you guys can see, Soki Su using Eddie Trickster and April Prime made it out of that group. That was a tough group. No Fruit Dealer moving on in Kodas. He's going to go down to up and down. And on to Group H. SC Foyu and Kirik Zenith both made it out. Inca and Marine King, two people I thought would have been the ones to make it out, didn't get through. Sad. Now, on to today's matches. We're going to have, for the round of 16, day 1.
We have I Am LosirA versus ST August. Liquid Hug versus TSL Reviver. ST Virus versus Gunzi. Xenex Coca versus Linux for You.
Yep, very exciting games here. I'm really looking forward to seeing not just our non-Korean games, but our Korean players play as well. Code A looking pretty scary, honestly.
It is.
Considerably, not snarpy like last season, much more impressive. I'm really excited to see which of these guys are going to move on into Code S after up and down matches, because the up and down matches right now are like so good. There's so many good players.
It's like, imagine if Hug wins. It's like, okay, I gotta choose between Nasty, MVP, or Marine King Prime.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, that's great. All right, I just blindfold myself to pick one of those because I'm pretty much going to have a hard game no matter what. LosirA against August is loading on my screen right now. It's going to be a Zerg versus Terran. LosirA the Zerg. August, our Terran player. And the map is going to be on Crossfire. So without further ado, we're going to get this thing going. Here, it's going to be pretty cool. TVZ on this map. Pretty interesting. It's a pretty narrow, I guess you'd say a skinny map if you were to look at it. Skinny map. Let's compliment the map, make it feel good.
Skinny like this Coke bottle.
Yeah, like our new sponsor, Coke. We're sponsored by Coca-Cola now. And we were sponsored by Pepsi before, but I'm shallow. I'll do whatever it takes to support esports. So enjoy the game. Over here in the red, we have our Zerg player from the team Incredible Miracles. He is
I Am LosirA.
There he is now, here in the round of 16. Big deal to get from the round of 32 to the round of 16, because it means you're that much closer to getting to the up and down matches. You're that much closer to staying in Code A. Now, on to our other player. In the blue, our Terran player. A member of the team Startail.
Starting August.
That is actually the month I was born in. Did you know that?
You guys better write it down.
Well, you're a girl. You're going to remember the birthday no matter what. August 11th. I'll ask you 5 years from now. You're going to remember that. There's a special part in all girls' brains where they just remember birth dates. I don't know anybody's birthday. I'm the guy that actually forgets my family members' birthdays. So I'm just that kind of guy. Sorry, it's the truth. Now, it's head-to-head here. Terran is going to go for Depot, Barracks, Refinery. Zerg going for Hatchery before Spawning Pool or Extractor, which is not necessarily the most risky thing, but out of all the openers Zerg can do, this is the one that's most prone to have them die to a rush.
Well, for this map, it is kind of safe for you to fast expand because it's pretty far for the Terran to get to the Zerg space. LosirA is going to come in with a scout there. Most importantly, he has to scout if... I mean, the hardest thing that he can defend against right now is not going to be, you know, the standard 2-Rex Marine opening that Koreans like to do, but the double Blue Flame Halions, they're going to come in. I mean, that is going to be so hard for him to defend because it's pretty far from your main base to your natural for Zerg player in this map. LosirA actually went ahead to get a gas steal on August's base. August, of course, he beat Loner in the last round to get here today.
The Loner, very solid player. And by the way, Zerg occupying an Extractor right now in the Terran's base, building where the Terran would want to build a refinery. He builds an Extractor. That is to limit the number of options that the Terran has as far as teching. And he actually cancels it. He doesn't want to let it finish.
Does a scout this time, brings his drone over. He's gonna see the reactor on the barracks. So I think it would be safe to say we're gonna see early aggression from the Terran player for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of early aggression. We've seen Hellions used more and more. Much more than back when I was actually playing Terran. I play Protoss now. And in this case, we haven't seen the factory lifted, so I honestly thought he was going to go Reactor and Hellions, but I guess not. We now see the Starport on the way. Hellion moving up towards the Zerg's base. And there's really nothing to defend here. I'm kind of surprised.
Well, he could actually put on a Spine Crawler, but he's moving his drone around right now. LosirA actually scouted it successfully, so he has put out a Roach Warren in case August decides to go for Blue Flame Hellions, which is a good reaction. You know, Roaches are always good for you to defend against early Hellions. He has a couple of Roaches coming out now. Yeah, as long as you get the Roaches in a good position, the Hellions they have a pretty hard time actually doing the damage. But some of these players have such good Hellion micro, you know, if they can manage to get a good angle, it's unbelievable how many kills they'll get. Terran going for a Tech Lab. It's interesting. It looks like he's going for Banshee.
Yeah, I think so. Or is he going to get a Raven? Perhaps do the Tasis build? Yeah, he's going to do the Banshee.
He's getting Cloak right now. This is actually quite bad for LosirA because he hasn't scouted this and he was expecting Blue Flame Hellions to come to his base. But since the Terran, August knows that LosirA has scouted him, so he's like, okay, I'm going to switch it up, get my second gas, and go for Banshee. At the same time, he should also start expanding soon because if he doesn't manage to do much damage in this push, LosirA is going to be so much ahead of him. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely true. Banshee's on the way out. It takes the exact same building time as it takes to make 2 Banshees as it does for Cloak to finish.
Roach coming out to scout, and I think LosirA knows for sure there's not going to be Blue Flame Hellions coming for him because until this point in time, the 2 Hellions that he spotted are still only having normal flames, not blue flames yet, so he knows for sure something else is coming up. He has an evolution chamber, so that will be okay. He can put up some spore crawlers if he does spot the Banshee, which he does. He puts on a spore crawler now. Really good reaction. Shows how experienced he is. Sees a Banshee on the field.
This is a smart move to split up the Roaches. Nice. Does manage to get 1 kill. Oh, I got to start casting up our actual screen, not the screen. Ortosis normally sees, excuse me. Now this other Roach will be picked off just in time. Cloak is done, but he's too close to the Spore Crawler and has to back up.
Just gonna rally his units nearer to the Spore Crawler in his natural right now so he can see what the Banshee's up to, but he has to move his drones and not lose them.
You know, we don't have a single... Well, we don't have a layer out, first of all, or is it even started, which is going to make this Banshee rush very effective. And he's only just now starting to make a Baneling's nest.
Looks
Now-
like he's not attacking up.
The thing is, a Cloaked Banshee can actually just do endless amounts of damage because Spore Crawlers are not mobile. They don't actually have a ton of range. Well, I'm sorry, they are mobile, but not in the sense of like actually being able to chase down a Banshee and kill it. So, if I returned, I would have actually kept making Banshees, kept trying to kill drones and stuff. We will see, though.
Solid push coming in from August. He has a couple of Marines up with Siege Moon coming in also. LosirA under a lot of pressure right here.
Oh,
This
he's
is
bringing
a
all the
really
SCVs, too.
Oh,
We got a ton of SCVs coming up here. Now, Terran can secure this location. We have a shut of now on the high ground where the creep tumors are being made. Siege tank up there. Marines out. It's going to be tough. If he does get a good position here with the Banelings, though, that's going to make all the difference in the world. Now, Terran brought all his SCVs, but I don't know if that really matters because there's Banelings. Turns out Banelings don't really counter. I mean, SCVs don't really counter Banelings. Let's see what happens, though. Here it comes.
oh, he wants to go. Baneling's coming in. He picks up a Siege tank at the back, bringing his Queens out. Taking on one more Siege tank. SCV's doing a little bit of tanking, but 4 Queens are out on the field right now. Roaches coming in, picking up everything that the Terran army bought in. Takes off the last bench on the field. This Medivac is gonna go down.
You know, the big mistake here is that you're not supposed to push if the Zerg doesn't have a layer. If the Zerg has a layer and he's getting Overseers out and actually spending money correctly to stop that, the Banshee rush, well, then you follow it up with a rush, GG. But in that case, I mean, it's like, well, obviously he has just 2 hatches. And
He's happy. Look at him.
look at that. Look at that. Yeah, obviously it's just not a good idea to push in that situation. You should expand. So, pretty rough game there from August. August cannot be feeling good about that. His time to attack was a failure, but he's not out yet. We are going to go to game number 2 pretty soon here. And I hope to see a better game from our Terran. Do you think our Zerg is going to 2-0 this?
It looks like it. LosirA
Yeah.
was so prepared for that.
It looks like it, that's for sure.
He was very prepared.
Again, I want to hit this home so that our viewers really understand this. When you do rushes like that, if the Zerg is teching, then you can do the push. Because then he's like...
You catch him?
Pardon?
Is it because you catch him?
Well, what happens is he's trying to tech. He's making the Spire. He's going to be pooling larva normally, or making a Hydra Den, which Hydras aren't exactly that good against Siege Tanks and Marines. Then you could push. But he stayed on 2 hatches, was making Spore Crawlers and Queens, which means he's going to have a ton of Zerglings. He's not pooling larva. So, with that being said, what he should do is just expand. Now you guys know, don't do a timing attack if the Zerg is going to be ready for it. There are triggers and reasons for doing stuff like that, and August didn't do it right.
You know, the thing was August actually scanned before he went to siege out on high ground, and he saw the amount of banings there.
Yeah, I know.
He should have
I was
backed
like-
though.
He was like, all right, let's do this.
Let's
And
go
then the
anyway.
Banelings came up and killed his army. So maybe he's nervous. It's tough. First time you're in the booth and everything like that. But the countdown has started. So we're going to go on to game number 2 here, head-to-head with LosirA against August. Who's going to win? It could be a 2-0 coming from LosirA, unless August is a little bit better. I'm Tasteless, and with me is Kelly. We're here in Seoul, Korea, commentating Kode at the GSL. And our game has actually started, so we should get that game going right about now.